And man, oh man, Stephen A. Smith was preaching yesterday, folks. Woo, boy. He had a little kind of statement for Kyrie Irving, and I completely agree with everything that this man has said. So, just basically, talking about, Kyrie Irving, how we've talked about, he got fined $35,000 for repeated refusal to participate in post-game availability to the media. So getting, that's not just one time. He does it consistently, not showing up, not going to the podium, not going to the after-game press conference. And that's not what this kind of Nets team needs right now. You just got bitched by the Bucks back-to-back games. I mean, folks, we're talking about one of their biggest competitors in the Eastern Conference, and we're in the back half of the season, the final week and a half, however you want to call it. It's the final week of the regular season, and Kyrie Irving and the Nets are still losing, not getting it done. So they've got the distraction of them losing games. Still no James Harden. Kyrie Irving won't go to the media. And, Stephen A. Smith just puts it right. Kyrie Irving wants to do all this talk and, praise how good he is and the good he's doing in the community. So go to the media. Go to the podium. So what's the deal? You have all these kind of world-changing ideas, but then you don't use your platform for them? So what is that about? What else is he saying? Right, just going back to, you saying you have stuff to say about important issues, but then he doesn't show up to the media availability. And, he has to kind of take it upon himself to go get the wins. Why is he not elevating his game to carry the squad? That's what LeBron James does. And, we hear that Kyrie Irving thinks of himself as a true number one in this league. But a true number one isn't going to stand by on the court and idly watch his team lose against Eastern Conference opponents at the back end of the season, folks. So Kyrie Irving doesn't improve everybody else's play. Yes, he just dropped 45 the other night, but they lost. So what is that telling us, folks? Yes, he's great individually, and we know this. Nobody's ever disputing this. We're disputing that he's not a great leader, a great number one that could just command the floor while kind of getting the points and facilitating the floor like James Harden did, folks. I think anybody truly appreciates how great James Harden was this season, folks. And, every time I try to bring up this point, everyone's like, oh, well, he was on a stacked team. Folks, Kevin Durant played 10 games with James Harden, folks. Kyrie Irving, missed a couple of games here and there, and it was really just James Harden, the solid piece that was always there night in, night out, facilitating the floor. That's why he's the only point guard in this league to average double-digit assists for the season, folks, while averaging 25 points. So he was still getting his buckets while facilitating the floor for everybody else to get involved. But with Kyrie Irving, he doesn't get everybody else involved like James Harden does. So what are we talking about, man? This Nets team with just Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant is not going to get it done because there is no clear-cut leadership on this team, folks. It's not Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving doesn't even want to be a point guard. Remember when it was just Kyrie Irving and James Harden out there, early on in the season when James Harden had a phenomenal game, Kyrie Irving took the media availability to go and further his own name by saying, hey, James Harden's the point guard. Don't look at me for being the point guard. I'm just a scorer out here. This is all I do. Don't look at me. James Harden's our guy. He's the facilitator. He's the point guard. He's the leader. So he openly passed that number one option to James Harden, and he's still acting like a number one out here. So if you have the time, definitely listen to what Stephen A. Smith says here. It's on my tweets. I'm sure you can find it. It's on his own Twitter. But it's just everything he says is just completely true. Why not talk to the media if you have all these great ideas? Why is your team losing? But, why is your team losing when they're so great? Why is this team losing? Why is this Nets team specifically losing? Because, we were all talking about you, basically sweeping the regular season, sweeping the playoffs, sweeping the finals, no problem, no competition. You built the super team, and now you're second in the Eastern Conference and, losing 4 straight games at the back end of the season. So it's just everything, Stephen A. Smith was absolutely on point. we'll see what Kyrie Irving kind of says in rebuttal to this, because, we know the rant is coming when he finally goes to the media availability, so he doesn't get fined anymore, and then he has to kind of, he's just going to be annoyed when he gets there, and it's just going to be him attacking the media kind of not trying to kind of antagonize, but maybe it's the media, you never know, maybe antagonizing him a little bit, or kind of, twisting his words around to get a nice quote, and then that's going to be the Kyrie Irving that we're going to be hearing from, an irritated, aggravated Kyrie Irving, which just makes me irritated because he's irritated and just being annoying. So, well done, Stephen A. Smith. He put it flawlessly, folks. Absolutely flawlessly, how he kind of framed the Kyrie Irving situation. And I have not gone to the replies yet. I saved this for the show because, folks, Kyrie Irving has one of the most annoyingly loyal fan bases that will always go and defend him no matter what. Will basically just classic stands on Twitter, folks, just annoying people, not taking into account any of the facts, just openly defending Kyrie Irving no matter what he does, and just trying to kind of embarrass and dunk on other people that kind of, like Stephen A. Smith, like me, that have different opinions. And folks, we're just clear, I'm only talking basketball. I'm only talking sports. Like, you can do whatever you want in your community. That's fine. That's fantastic. But, I don't really care 100% about that. And I'm not trying to, have that as like disrespect, or, come and think of me like I don't care about anybody besides myself or anything like that. I'm just saying I am talking sports. I like sports because I love competition. I love high level competition. I love the methods of winning, getting inside people's head, outsmarting the other player. So when I talk sports, I only talk what you're doing on the field. If you want to, be all, la-di-da, charity, donating, giving away, doing great in your community, during your own time, that's fine. That's great. I'm never going to knock that. Never, ever. But I only care what you do on the field, and, what you're saying on the court, and what you're doing in game, just what you're doing in the game. And Kyrie Irving, he's annoying. He's annoying on the court. He's annoying in the press conferences. So that's why we knock Kyrie Irving. It's not any of his basketball skills. He's a fantastic player, but he's not as great as he thinks he is in terms of leadership in the number one kind of, like being a number one, A1, tier one, number one in this league. He's not that, folks. He's not. So that's where, I call out Kyrie Irving just a little bit. But so let's go into these comments very quickly. I'm sure it's going to be, I probably won't even be able to say any of these, but let's just see what the reactions are on Twitter in the comments on what Stephen A. Smith about Kyrie Irving. So here we go. Also, we tweeted under this video. I said 1,000,000,000% agree with everything Stephen A. Smith said. I didn't say I 1,000,000,000% agree. And then somebody 3 hours ago, I mean, folks, this was 18 hours ago I said this, and this man just comes 3 hours ago, says, glad you made this comment. Shows how true it is. LOL. First part, there aren't 1,000,000,000,000 people. So false. I wasn't saying 1,000,000,000,000 people percent. I wasn't saying 1,000,000,000,000 people agree. I said 1,000,000,000% agree with everything Stephen A. Smith said, as in I agree 1,000,000,000%. So that's already the stuff we're working with, folks. So alrighty. Kyrie is a super talent, a basketball artist, and a good human being at his core, but he is such a bad professional, and it's hard to root for. Oh my goodness. Oh, so okay, people are kind of, agreeing with us. This is exactly how we feel, folks. He's a bad professional. He's an annoying professional. It's hard to root for and appreciate what he does on and off the court. I mean, truly fantastic how that man puts it. Do you watch the NBA for post-media interviews or the game? I mean, once again, folks, it's everything. It's everything, folks. It's everything around the game. And yes, media interviews, because, when you're not there, you're distracting the team. So, your leadership ability is now being questioned because you're making it all about you by not going to the media availability. And, now you're getting fined. The team's getting fined. This is a distraction. You're losing 4 straight games. So, Yes, the media interview, it's not, it's about like 1, maybe 2% of the totality of all the information that we need to kind of collect and interpret and analyze and just kind of see how it kind of plays out in the entire course of the season and compare it to everybody else. So yes, media interviews have something to do with the player of the game. All right, I don't like Kyrie, but Stephen A. Smith is honestly just reaching at this point. No, he's not, folks. I honestly think he is 1,000% on the money on this one. I want the Nets to lose in the first round. Kind of too, honestly. Yeah, I mean, let's just kind of look out, let's take away the play-in tournament, all that. Just kind of go through the first 8 seeds here, classic playoffs. So, I mean, they would face the Heat first round, and yeah, we would love to see the Heat upset them, absolutely. So, yeah, I would love to see the Nets lose first round. Wizards Nets first round. Yeah, that's the matchup I definitely want to see. Russell Westbrook versus Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Russell Westbrook has the opportunity to dethrone that big team, and Russell Westbrook would love nothing more than to do that because he's kind of felt left out of that kind of initial trio of the OG OKC Thunder team. So yeah, I would love to see that. This is you talking to Kyrie, talking to a brick wall. Truly that. He never changes, and, that's... If you don't want to change, I don't care if you don't change, truly. But then don't get upset at other people, for calling you out. If you're in the media, if you're making yourself out there, you have to open yourself up to criticism, folks. And that goes for me, too. I am putting myself out there. I'm on the internet. Here I am. Blah, 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 blah. I'm live every single day. So, yes, I'm putting myself... up for criticism because I'm putting myself out there. That's just a little unfortunate part about, athletes having to become superstars. They're getting paid all this money. They're on television every single night. They're getting interviewed every single day. So they have to put themselves out there. So, you are out there, so you have to be open up to criticism. So that's just how it is. If you're out there, if you're putting yourself out there, you have to be open up to criticism. And Kyrie Irving definitely does not take criticism well, as we all know. That's why he does not go to the post-game media availability sessions anymore. All right, the blood, sweat, and tears, all the heartaches and crushing losses that you overcome, being counted out and still coming through. Eli was never the most exciting player or the loudest. Definitively wasn't a prima donna like your boy Rodgers, but he played his. Alrighty, I don't know what that's supposed to be about. I don't know what that comment's supposed to be about. All right, let's go to this one. Kyrie Irving has vocalized the personal challenges he's dealing with within real time, while also stressing, without it really being the business of the media, that there are health issues involved. He doesn't owe y'all anything. Yes, he doesn't owe us anything, but he's in the media. He is a media figure, so he has to kind of, say what he wants to say, not try to have his words twisted. He has to kind of come out there 100% kind of in his ideas, and then he's kind of, throwing out the mental. It's always an issue with Kyrie Irving that he's, throws out there. So it sounds more personal for the media than him. It's like they're fiending to twist one of his phrases if he doesn't answer the way they want him to. That's going to be on SportsCenter 2, shaking my head. I don't agree, man. I don't agree. I mean, you can just kind of take what he says, just verbatim, and, you don't have to twist Kyrie Irving's words to kind of, see what his true intentions are when he's talking. You don't need to do that. Kyrie really has helped your show this season. I'm going to have to disagree with Steven on this one. All right, I understand you have a job to do, but this mandatory having to speak with the media to me isn't fair to the players. I mean, folks, you're getting paid millions of dollars, and I don't want to put the money into this because, just because you get paid a lot of money doesn't mean you should have to be, open up all these criticisms. But that's the job, folks. The NBA is a business. It's not just doing it on the field. If it was just doing it on the field, probably a lot more people would be playing or not having their careers cut short. But yes, this media availability is part of the job. It's unfortunate. Like I said, I don't think I would want to kind of be in this limelight if I was just an athlete trying to play a sport. But look, take a page out of Kawhi Leonard's book. It's like there's other people doing this. You can be a great player. Just what makes Kyrie Irving so polarizing is that he's saying stuff every single time about different issues and whining. Folks, he wants to be a vocal leader about change. So if you're going to be a vocal leader about change, you're always going to get pushback. You're always going to get criticism. So you're opening yourself up to that. You have to accept that criticism because you're putting your ideas, you're putting your voice, you're putting yourself out there, folks. It just comes with the territory, man. It truly does. It's unfortunate. Trust me, it is unfortunate, but that's how it is. And I don't want to say, oh, that's just how it is, folks. That's just it's just how it has to be. There needs to be money to be made to play these players, and athletes, how they get paid. This is where the money comes from, folks. It's all part of the gig. It's unfortunate. Going out and helping your community, mandatory, folks. During all those kind of Thanksgivings where we see, the football players handing out meals to the homeless and all of this, folks, that's mandatory, folks. You have to do that. It's part of the job. It's the community service of the organization that wants to be in a good light to the public. So they use the players to do that, folks. All right, what else do we get? Pretty cringe, no cap. Stephen A. Smith is a walking L these days. This is the type of Twitter people we're dealing with, folks, when we have to, when we talk about Kyrie Irving. This is why we always have to preface every single Kyrie Irving speech that we do with, he's a great basketball player. Nobody's ever doubting that. He's a fantastic two. He hit the big shot in the finals. Absolutely fantastic. Helped LeBron win a ring. Absolutely. Nobody's doubting that. But he's not a number one, folks. He's truly not. 2 months ago, you said he should retire. That is true. I never got behind that. That was a little ridiculous to say that this man should just retire. I didn't agree with that one. But that's where we're at with Kyrie Irving right now. So we'll see his next media availability session, folks. That's going to be the key. How is he going to come out and take all this kind of backlash of being fined, of me criticizing? I'm sure he's heard, and Stephen A. Smith criticizing him. So, I guess that's where we leave it for today until more Kyrie Irving news comes out. But the Nets aren't winning, and Kyrie Irving's on a stacked team. So I don't know what y'all want from me. The Knicks are doing just fine, and they ain't got no superstar. They got Julius Randle, folks, who everybody clowned every single year until this year. Derrick Rose, who couldn't stay healthy, who's leading the bench. Taj Gibson, who's making a comeback because he's got a good coach. Julius Randle, we already said, but we'll say it twice because he's that good this year. So I don't know what to tell y'all, folks. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.